Welcome, everyone. Another one of our heart-powered inspiring interviews. And as you know, every week we introduce you to an amazing friend and guests, and someone that is really shifting the world in great, great ways. And today I introduce you to Eksteen De Waal, and he's amazing. We met actually in Namibia last year when we were supposed to have the Global Speaker Summit, and then it turned into a Plan B Summit, thanks to Corona and other reasons. And he's an outstanding speaker, entrepreneur, change maker in so many ways. I can tell you, Eksteen has seen, as he's saying about himself, he's seen the best in the world, a worst of people and life, and he's still smiling, as you can see. His purpose is really to help others, and in doing so, every day spent helping is a day lived and loved for him. And he's gone from being a captain in the special forces to be a regional dance champion, from heading a social enterprise to working in large corporations, from moving to a new country with no money in his pocket to really running the largest corporate accounts. He's really seen a lot and learned even more. And each day for him is a day to help others and to learn. And currently he's the CEO and the founder of Exponentially Me, which is a consulting firm specializing in changing the world of business one relationship at a time. He's really spent many years in the corporate business world, and he's always looking for ways to help people work together better and in shorter time spans. And the last about 15 years, he's been researching how relationships at work really empower us to be our best selves. And today, helping people on the path to becoming their best selves is a step for him. And it starts with not doing it alone. And it's so true. Exteen's mission is really to unlock the power of connecting. That's his life's work and mission. So welcome, Eksteen. It's amazing to have you.
Thank you for having me, Monique. It's always good to be on with you, and always so good to have a conversation with you. I always enjoy our conversations.
Right. And I know that you have such a big heart. And as you know, we are running a heart-powered business, right? What does it mean to you running a heart-powered business?
I think for me, it starts with when I understood empathy for the first time. Empathy is kind of classified usually in three aspects: the ability to see, the ability to feel, and the ability to do something about it, or the willingness to do something about it. And when I realized that, I started investigating, how do we see how other people feel, and what compels them to do stuff? How do we allow ourselves to feel the compassion that we need to connect and to help? And how do we then translate that into action? And I found that in businesses, we suppress people's willingness to feel. That's one of the reasons why there's 4 times more psychopaths and sociopaths in management in business, because we don't allow people to feel, which is a natural thing for human beings to do. And if we see, but we're not allowed to feel, we cannot get over to the do, we cannot get over to the action. And in the action is where we build our relationships, where we grow, where we connect. And so what I do is, one of the things we do is, so that's point number 1, knowing. Then the point number 2 is getting over to action. So one of the things we do is we find ways to help people to connect. So for instance, now in Corona times, 2 of the tips we give people is hug a family member the first thing in the morning, because that release of oxytocin helps you to combat stress. And then 2, do a random act of human kindness at least once a day for someone, because that way you create a release of oxytocin for them, for you, and for everybody that observes. Now, can you imagine how powerful that is if each team member in a team does that for everybody else? So if I just do it for one team member and every team member does the same, we have 5, 10, 15 random acts of human kindness being done every day. And that's release of oxytocin, not just for the person or for the person they're doing it, but for the whole team. And that combats stress. Is one of the best ways to be resilient in these times of stress. Okay. And you mentioned the event earlier that we did last year, and that to me was the same. When we connected there, it wasn't a time of stress and duress, because the whole original event fell apart. And all the speakers going there had to work together to create something new. And that was so special to me to see that sense of community and that willingness to also accept other people's faults, other people's mistakes, work around it, okay, and still help and support. So nothing was perfect, but everything was amazing. And
And to me, honestly, Eksteen, everything was perfect the way it went, right? It was just brilliant. The connections we
yes,
created, I mean, me being on stage and, giving workshops and, co-creating it together is a really powerful thing. And I know this is also how you run your business, right? You weave these principles of connection, the act of kindness, really the listening, the creating spaces for people to feel so they take action, they get the results really. You're doing all of that, you're living that daily as I know you. So, why don't you share with the community what are the top 3 things you do right now in your business to just, again, even in the current times, especially in the current times, to bring everything to a different level? What are these 3 things that you do right now?
well, firstly, I like connecting people and bringing people together to create something new and amazing. And so last year's event inspired me to create a new one. So originally we were all going to get together in Amsterdam in this amazing club in the middle of town, remember, and they unfortunately that didn't go through, with all the lockdowns and everything else. So we've created this event now online, and I'm bringing people together that normally wouldn't speak together at the same events because it's all about the speakers. We're creating an event for speakers around innovation. And we're weaving things in there like compassion for people with lesser abilities or that are differently abled. So we actually have somebody that is going to speak about what does it feel like to be Black and blind in today's world with this rapidly changing environment, all right? Or how do you shift your perspective to get a new opportunity, just even in your home life, in your work life, in your life with your children? How can you use those kind of things? And some amazing people that I've met in my life that are going to be speaking there. So there I've also met someone out of all this, because I do now interviews with all the speakers, because I also want to give them their little time in the sun, And I met somebody called Richard Mitzen, and he's a radio broadcaster by history. And I would never have met him if it wasn't for this event, So giving is also allowing me to receive amazing stuff. And Richard has done a study on podcasting. So I'm going to launch a podcast next month. And it's like, I wasn't expecting this, So my network is helping. I'm helping. Firstly, I give people ideas or help them or reach out to them. And I find that in the act of giving, there's always something that comes back, either from their network or from someone that helps you down the line. I mean, I've helped people in the past that 14 years later would come to me and say, listen, by the way, I see you doing this. I've got a connection that can help you, That reaching out, that giving, I think is the cornerstone of what is my purpose in life. And that has allowed me to now receive stuff which I never thought was possible, And then another top tip was I worked for a company and we didn't leave things in the best possible way. And I didn't really like the manager that I worked for there. But the company's principle was, if you can't give it away for free, why would somebody buy it? And so I've looked at what can we give away for free? What kind of change can we make in the world? What kind of value can we create? And we find that when we give away to individuals, companies come to us and say, why don't you come and do something really special for our whole team? Bring everyone together, not just individuals reaching out, but the whole team, look at it, help us to make the team sing. And so we've been blessed in that last year was really terrible. And this year just full of hope, one contract after the other.
Full of hope and opportunity. And I love what you say. I know, podcasting. I mean, I've been doing podcasting 9 years ago already, right? And I know what the impact is. After 5-6 months, I had like 20,000 listeners back then already, right? So again, I mean, getting the word out and serving people that, as you say, might not be able to, be paying and investing into our services right now, and still being in the giving space. I love that. And Eksteen, you said something really important. I want to put that more into the spotlight right here, right now, because I know that there's this incredible event coming up next week, and I know the event, organized and held by the Professional Speaker Association in the Netherlands, but also, it's actually an international organization supported and, and run also with other speaker associations. And it's called Innovation in Speaking. So tell us more about what does it take to organize an event like that? What are some, because a lot of people that are here with us right now have also thought like, I've been running live events in the past, now I want to bring them online. How do you create that kind of shift and really create, offer amazing value and connection why people come together online? What are some of your success secrets in that?
I think some of the other things I've done in my life has prepared me for this. Sometimes being a little bit foolhardy and taking on things that is outside of your comfort zone can really push you. And I really wanted to create something that I felt comfortable with, that I felt added value. And to do that, I think we're doing more than we would normally have done. So I always look for how to make this something that is good for everybody else. And that's something that doesn't really normally translate into events. In events, it's about getting the speakers in, getting the money in, getting the connections done, and then moving on. It's more like a factory. And for me, this was more like a wedding, because the last event I organized was my own wedding. And about the same amount of guests at my wedding as we're probably going to have at the event. And a wedding doesn't move its date. And we're so used to online events or Corona now, we sometimes things move. And I just made myself the promise, we will not move. All right. We will bring this value. And after the event, we'll continue to bring some of that value to people out there. This event is not going to be a once-off. It's not going to just be there on day one and listen to one session. We're going to record everything. We're going to make sure that you can hear it again and again. And for that, we want to make sure that the speakers get that exposure. So every single speaker that speaks at the event gets an interview. Every one of them gets a promo. Every one of them gets their speech recorded and reiterated and rebroadcast, because we want to reach out that hand to help. And so that is part of why I'm doing it. And what I've learned in the process is that the response from the speakers, the moment you put them center stage, has been amazing. People are sending stuff in on their holidays they would normally not do. People are taking time out of their schedules, which they have to move other people to accommodate me. It's just unbelievable. It is just so wonderful to see that when you give, you get.
It's that, and also I think you go above and beyond for the participants too, right? So what are you
Yes.
doing for them to make it extra valuable?
One of the things I learned when it comes to events now, especially the online stuff, is something called a bumper. Normally used in broadcasts in between segments. So what we're doing is recording a bunch of bumpers, which we'll also use as promotional material for the rest of the year. And those are top tips from anybody in the world. Okay. And specifically for your network, you should go, look, there's a competition. All right. We're actually running a competition on the website, which will also give you a massive amount of discount on the event if you want to attend the event. But submit the tip, because that tip will also give you a little bit of exposure and at the same time help someone else. So it's top tips for speakers, but look at the innovation side. Look at what are you doing differently? What are you doing that's adding value? What are you doing that helps other people when you speak, or when you're online, or when you're in a meeting?
I really love that. And you know what? I mean, Eksteen, as you know, we always, every time we run, an amazing, uplifting interview like we do right now, we always, every single time, invite people to play with us, because we're always getting inspired. We pick up knowledge. But as you know, only when we actually apply it and take inspired action, we shift something, right? So I would suggest all of you that are here with us right here, right now, today, okay, here's your opportunity. Okay, you can still jump onto the stage with Eksteen, okay, in a way, and people from all over the world really, in a way, by just simply doing one thing that Eksteen just suggested. Just record a little 30-second video with what is your top tip as a speaker? What are you doing differently? Or if you are not a speaker yet, I'd like to invite you as well. something that you have seen someone else do that is incredible, that you thought like, this really works, this really speaks to me, right? So again, we're going to share the link to that. And as a reward, it's not only that you're going to get visibility, and I'm the visibility queen. I always help you to step up and get your voice heard and shine in a greater way. It will help you get visibility throughout that conference and beyond. And you're going to get, I think, also a reduction on your conference fee, right? So that's amazing. Thank you, Eksteen. So again, why don't you share with everyone that wants to connect with you and might want to learn more about what you do and exchange with you? How can they get in touch? Where can they find you?
Well, they can find me by just Googling my name. Strangely enough, with a relatively unique first name, Eksteen. I'm sort of the top 12 hits on Google for my name. But otherwise, if you're on LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn / exponentially me on the company. I'm also on Facebook with my company. And we're also on a website. So exponentially.me is our website, and there you can find everything about me. When it comes to the event, though, the event is at www.innovationinspeaking.com and /top-tip-competition for the competition. But I'm sure we'll share it somewhere digitally online for people as well.
Here, and we'll share it again in the daily challenge that we always link with this amazing interview. So all of you, okay, next week, okay, don't wait, don't hesitate, don't procrastinate, record that video right away, get some moment of fame, right? Get visible, share with us what are your 2 top tips. We'd like to learn from you, and we like to learn from each other, right? So I love that. And I also know there's so much amazingness planned throughout these 3 days, right? Next week, 9th to 11th of April. Don't miss the event. There's also going to be an unconference where people will co-create the agenda together, right? So again, we did that in Namibia. I know we're going to do it online. It's going to be amazing, where again, you can even get the opportunity to hold a space for people. So don't miss it. Be with us. Okay, I'm getting excited in myself to be on the Innovation for Speakers conference next week with you, Eksteen, and all our speaker friends from all over the world. You don't want to miss it, my dear friends. Again, share your top tips for speakers. What's working for you? What have you seen other speakers do that is amazing? Let's co-create this library of wisdom together. And so Eksteen, thank you for being on with us. Thank you all for being on with us, every week, being loyal, following us and stepping up. But as you know, we are not only here to inspire you, we are also here to invite you to take inspired action. So we look forward to see your top tip. And again, next week, we're going to be back with another interview. So keep an eye out on that. But for now, it's all about Eksteen and his amazing upcoming conference. Look forward to seeing all of you there with us. Okay. Thank you, Eksteen, for being on with us. Thank you all.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Monique, for having me. It's always lovely talking to you.
And let's keep inspiring and uplifting each other. So together, we all speak up, we all scale up the impact in the business we run, and we all make a bigger difference together. Okay, so let's impact the world together. All the best. Have a fabulous day.